Hi everyone and welcome to the Free Range Diva. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite foods, quinoa, and I'm going to share with you my all-time favorite quinoa salad recipe. But before I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, in case you've never tried quinoa or you're just curious to know some of the nutritional and historical information, here it comes. So quinoa is a seed that's prepared like a grain. It's a seed. Most people do think it's a grain, but it's not. It's definitely a seed. And it's from the spinach family. At least that's its closest relative. It comes in a variety of colors, red, black, purple, but what you'll most commonly find in your grocery store will be the white variety. And the white has the mildest flavor, while the red is a little bit nuttier. And the black is earthier and sweeter. Also, you can find sprouted quinoa that's already been sprouted on the market. So quinoa is grown in South America and it's been cultivated and eaten for thousands of years. As a food, it contains all of the essential amino acids, which is why it's considered technically to be a complete protein. However, it doesn't contain all of the amino acids in sufficient amounts to support human health when eaten as a normal part of the diet. So because it doesn't contain all of the amino acids in sufficient quantities, it's best to eat quinoa combined with other plants in order to bump up your chances of getting a complete protein if you're not eating meat. The vitamins and minerals that you'll find in quinoa are magnesium, phosphorus, manganese, iron, zinc, copper, and the B vitamins. It also contains quercetin, so if you eat it combined with a citrus fruit like orange or lemon or something, that citrus will help to make the quercetin even more bioavailable. And quercetin is one of my favorite sort of antioxidants because it contains some powerful cancer-fighting nutrients. And again, its maximum absorption is achieved when you eat it with a vitamin C containing fruit or vegetable. Quinoa is moderate in the glycemic index at 53. It contains fiber, but it's also really high in carbs. So it's not recommended if you're eating like a paleo or keto diet where you want to keep your carbs low. So this little seed has a protective coating on it to keep away animals, pests, parasites, that sort of thing. And this coating is known as saponins, and these saponins will cause you stomach upset. Very unpleasant dietary issues if you eat it. So they're also very bitter in taste. So in a traditional diet, in traditional cooking, seeds and grains are routinely soaked in order to make them more bioavailable and to remove any kind of anti-nutrients like the saponins that we were just talking about. But in the case of quinoa, soaking is not recommended because the product comes out very gummy, and additionally the saponins, instead of being soaked away and unattaching from the seed, they can actually be absorbed further into the seed. So soaking is out. So you can get rid of the saponins, however, by giving the quinoa a good rinse. Maybe 90 seconds to 2 minutes under cold water, and you'll end up with a much fluffier and tastier product, and you won't have to deal with any kind of dietary upset at the same time. So there's also pre-washed quinoa on the market, but that's not recommended because the process can compromise some of the nutritional benefits. And of course, if you've got sprouted quinoa, then you don't have to worry about rinsing that at all. So when you're cooking, by the way, if you see any kind of foam coming up, these are the saponins. Just remove the foam by just kind of scraping it away from the top of the water. But you cook it basically like rice. And so since we're talking about cooking, I'm going to go down to my kitchen and show you how I make my favorite carrot and quinoa salad. So here's the quinoa, and it's about a half a cup that's already been washed really well. And then the amount of liquid is about 2 to 1. So since this is half a cup, I'm going to pour in a cup of water. I will put this on high heat to bring it to a boil, and then turn it down to medium low, and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. And it will be ready. Sorry about that noise. I'm going to put this on the back burner. It will be ready when the seeds open up and you can see their little tails sticking out. So we'll check back with this in a little while. And now it's time for the carrots. And this is going to be really easy. It's everything you see here. Carrots, about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, same amount of thyme. Normally I would be putting a regular onion, half of an onion or 1/4 of an onion, but I forgot to get one at the market. So these are some scallions that were chopped in the freezer, and honey. And the only thing that's not here that's going to go in is apple juice. And I'll show you how I put this together right now. Oh, and that's about 2 medium carrots, and you could probably go up to even 3, and this would still be good. Okay, here we go. So far I've put in about a tablespoon of honey and a tablespoon of water, and that's all the water you're going to need for this dish, because these carrots are going to cook low and slow, and they're going to cook in their own juices. There's the carrots. I'm putting in the onions. I'm going to add about a 1/4 of a teaspoon of cumin, and really it just depends on how much you add, depends on how much you like cumin. And the same amount of thyme. And again, and then we'll want to give it a little salt and pepper, so a good sprinkling of salt and a little bit of black pepper. Not too much. Let's not go crazy. And then I'm going to turn on the heat, and I'm going to turn this way, way, way down. There you can see. I mean, way down. Here we go. And then cover this, and we're going to let this cook for about 20 to 30 minutes, maybe even 40 minutes. It just depends on how long everything takes. All right. Oh, and here's the quinoa. And where's my fork? Okay, so hopefully you can see that the little tails are showing. There, that's a good shot. You can see that the little tails, that means that this is all done. It's nice and soft and it's fluffy, and I'm just letting it sit here and cool. Oh, and don't peek. I have my timer set right now for 15 minutes, and I'm not going to lift the lid until that timer goes off. So you want the steam is going to help cook everything, so you don't want to, have that steam escape. So leave it alone, don't check it. So for the dressing, I put a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, apple juice, and olive oil, a tablespoon of each into this jar, added some salt and pepper, and a little splash of mustard. Then we're just going to mix this up. So it's been almost 20 minutes, and I want to show you. See all that liquid? The carrots give up their liquid and they end up cooking in it. So I'm going to check and see if these are done, and if they are, I'll let them cool before I add them to the final salad. And now it's time to assemble the salad. Quinoa. In goes the carrot mixture. The next thing you're going to want to put in is whatever fresh herbs you like, whatever's in season or that you happen to have around. Anything as long as it's green and fresh. So I've got parsley and basil chopped up here. You can use chives or tarragon or mint or whatever you like. And you just want to put enough of it in there so that there's greenery throughout the salad. Here's the dressing that I made a minute ago, and I tasted it and felt like I wanted more apple cider vinegar, so I did add more apple cider vinegar to it. So I'm just going to pour that in, probably about a teaspoon. Oh, it smells good. And then we're just going to mix this up. And of course you'll want to taste that dressing for seasoning to make sure it's seasoned the way you like it. Because remember, we didn't season the quinoa, although we did season the carrots. Okay, and then the last thing that we're going to put on here, I'm going to chop up edible flowers. Got these at the grocery store at Sprouts. They're so pretty. A few of these don't need to be chopped. They can just go straight in like that. Ah, went bad. And then we'll just rough chop the rest of these and sprinkle them on top. Yes, it's actually, these were only 99 cents, so not that expensive, and it just makes everything look really pretty when you have all these different colors. There you go. That's my quinoa and carrot salad. It's really good. You guys, those carrots just add a little bit of sweetness to all the other ingredients, but it has a really nice balance. And I love this with something simple like grilled fish or chicken, something very fresh and light for the summer. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. That way you won't miss my next one. And until I see you again, everyone, take good care of yourselves. Have a great day. And I'll talk to you again very, very soon. Bye.